Hi, this is Lisa, and you're watching The Backward Glance. So I've got another What Sold Fast video for you, and in these videos I show you 10 items that took less than 30 days to sell from my shop. So today is June 15th, 2019, and all of these took place between the 13th and the 15th. I also have 3 bonus items to show you today. So one of them is an item that I think is a good item. It's a brand that you may not be aware of. I know I wasn't. So I wanted to show it to you. And that was an item that took 32 days to sell, so it just didn't quite make the cut. And then I thought it would be kind of fun to show you 2 items that just sold for me that took about a year to sell. So just a little bit of contrast in this video. But to start out with, these first 10 items did sell within 30 days of being listed, and the first one is this pair of Lululemon Wonder Unders, and the pattern on these was called Quartzite. I really thought that these might get activity really quick because they were the only Wonder Unders in this pattern listed on eBay. They didn't really get a lot of views or watchers, which was surprising. I did pay $4.25 for these, and I took a best offer of $46, and that took 6 days to sell. And here is the tag, just in case you're not familiar with Lululemon. So this one still did have the tearaway tag in it. That's not always the case. Then I sold this Athleta swimsuit in a size 38D/double D, and I've been hearing that one pieces are in this year, so when I found this, I knew that I wanted to pick it up. There is the Athleta logo there on the tag, and then this one was also marked Athleta on the inside. I paid $7 for this swimsuit, and I took a best offer of $25, and that took 9 days to sell. Next are these vintage Levi's, and these are Levi's 512, and as you can see from the patch there. So these are one of the 2 styles that are considered to be like the classic Levi's mom jean. So Levi's 512 and Levi's 501. You do want to be aware that they're still making 501s. I'm not totally sure if they're still making 512s. But as far as the 501s, the more modern ones are not going to be the classic mom jean high-waisted style. So if that's what you're looking for to sell, you're definitely going to want the vintage ones. A normal pair of 501s that is not the vintage style probably doesn't flip for that high. So I paid $5.35 for this pair. It got tons of views and watchers right off the bat, and I did sell it for my full asking price of $38, and that took just 2 days to sell, so I'm definitely keeping my eye out for some more of these. I don't see these vintage Levi's very often, actually, and I'm gonna definitely date myself here, but I remember when I was thrift shopping for myself back in high school, and every pair of jeans on the rack was like vintage mom jeans, and I would just go through and desperately hope I could find a low-rise pair of jeans. So it's all come full circle, which is great, but now it's just funny that I have a hard time finding the vintage ones. Next up is a kind of a duster cardigan by the brand Evie's Tree, and this was a brand that I had never heard of, so I did do comps right in the store and decided to pick it up. This had one small issue, that being just a tiny little discoloration there. Wouldn't really affect it when you wear it. And there is the Evie's Tree logo for you. I paid $4.25 for this item, and I took a best offer of $32. That took 12 days to sell. Next are a pair of Keens, and I picked these up at a garage sale for $2. They were only a size 6.5, and normally I kind of cut off my women's shoe purchases at size 7. I don't usually pick up anything lower than that unless it's like an extremely luxury brand or I'm getting it extremely cheap. But I consider $2 extremely cheap for Keens, and these were in excellent condition, probably had only been worn once or twice. So I decided that that would still be a good buy. Sold them on a best offer for $25, and that took 27 days to sell. Next is this shirt by Rails. They make these really soft sort of rayon flannel tops. And I believe these are sold at Nordstrom's, and the retail is only about 50 or 60. So this is a brand that actually has a really good resale rate considering what the retail price is. So you're getting, pretty close to that retail price. So that's pretty cool. I don't come across this brand very often, but I really like it. It's called Rails, like I said, so if you're not familiar with the tag, there it is. Pretty simple. So I paid $5 for this shirt, and I sold it for my full asking price of $36, and that took 1 day to sell. If you're in a hurry and you're looking through women's clothing, shirts, I always pull out any flannel. I will just scan by and look for any flannel because maybe one will be a Pendleton, maybe one will be a Rails, and that kind of thing will make that little quick trip through the aisle worth it. Next are these shoes that are by a brand called Annecy, and these are vintage shoes, and I actually picked these up at a thrift store and put them back and picked them up and put them back, and I really deliberated over them. I did end up looking up comps, and there were a few sold comps, but it was such a small number that I just didn't feel confident. But I'm glad I got them. So these were a size 12 and they were genuine alligator skin, and they were actually marked that on the bottom. And the reason I was really not that confident is just because I think that the style is not very modern. So I don't know. I just was hesitant to spend my money on these. So I paid $7 for these. I took a best offer of $75, and these took just 1 day to sell. So goes to show you, what do I know? It looked like that was a good item after all, and I hope that the buyer is really happy with it. Next is this Sundance dress, and Sundance is a catalog brand. I do not pick up a ton of their stuff, but if it's really cute, I'll pick it up, and I thought that this dress was really pretty, and I thought it was really perfect for summer. It was rayon and viscose, which I consider to be two of my favorite materials to wear personally. So the tag for Sundance is really simple. If you've never seen it, there you go. So definitely a brand with a following, but be selective about the items that you pick from them. So I paid $6.50 for this dress, and I did sell it for my full asking price of $38, and that sold on the same day that I listed it. Here's a brand I had in my last video as well. These are Allegria by PG Light, and this style happened to be called the Deborah. There is the brand Allegria if you've never seen these. This is a brand that's similar to Dansko or Sanitas, has a following among nurses and other people who are on their feet all day. And I usually can pick it up for cheaper than I can pick up Dansko, so I am a big fan of this brand. I paid $5.40 for these and took a best offer of $32, and these took 17 days to sell. These were not in perfect condition. They definitely showed some wear and like creasing on the tops and things like that, so I might have even been able to pull a little more out of them if they were in a little better condition, but I thought that was a really good flip. And this is the last of the 10 that sold quick, so this is a brand, another brand that I wasn't aware of, called Woman by Common Projects, and the name was printed just right inside the shoe there, if you can see that, and they're made in Italy. So these were very much like a Vans style shoe, and I actually walked right past them, or they put them out after I looked at the shoes, but I didn't notice them, and I had spent a long time looking at the shoes, and then right before I left the thrift store, I walked by, looked one more time, and these caught my eye. And this is something that apparently, now that I've done some research, they all have, is this serial number printed in gold on the outside, so that is something that you could be looking out for. I did list these way on the high end because nobody had this exact same style, and I didn't really expect to get 135, but I just thought, hey, we'll go for it. So I did take a best offer for $80, and I paid $7 for them. That took 27 days. I actually got a best offer of $80 kind of like maybe a week after I listed these, and I think I countered at 100 and never heard back. So then the other day I got a best offer of 70, countered at 90, we met at 80, so I may as well take an 80 in the first place. But I'm really happy with that, and it was a great flip, a great profit margin for me, and I hope the buyer really likes them. Okay, so here is the 11th item, and this is, like I said, it's a good item. It's a brand that I didn't know, so I think there's a chance that some of you might not have heard of it. And this took 32 days to sell, so I think it just didn't quite make the cut. So this brand is called Nudie, and the style on these was called High Kai. I found these at the thrift store, and it was very obvious to me that they were a high quality, so I ran some comps. And this brand, I believe you can also send into the Real Real. And I should have mentioned for that last brand, Woman by Common Projects, for sure you can send that one into the Real Real, and they would probably list those shoes that I showed you around the same price that I listed them for. So your commission would be lower. Um, these nudie jeans, I think they would have listed at about 50, so my commission would have probably ended up only being about 20 bucks, assuming someone bought them for 40, which is what usually happens on the Real Real. So, at any rate, let's see the tag on these. So there you go, nudie jeans, terrible picture of the tag, and the back patch on them, if you're scanning through the backs, has a kind of an orange N on it. So I paid $4.26 for this pair and took a best offer of 38, and like I said, these took 32 days to sell. Definitely keeping an eye out for these and would pick them up again. So now I have two items that I have had in my inventory for about a year, and I wanted to show you these because I think the reason I show you things that I sell fast is because I think it's really helpful to learn things that are consistent sellers, that are strong sellers, that are sought after. But that being said, I don't want to make it seem like everything I buy sells fast or like I'm some amazing picker and I just have the secret of like knowing what's going to sell fast. So this first item is an item that I would 100% still pick up today if I found it for a good price. This was a new with tags Laurel Birch purse, and Laurel Birch is an artist. She's mainly known for her cat paintings. She does, I think, also angels and horses and things beside cats, but everybody loves cats, so this was new with tags. There's that, and it was also marked Laurel Birch on the side. Hand painted bag, really cool. And I listed it for 28. I paid 90 cents for this. This came from an outlet store that's by the pound. Not the Goodwill outlet, but I believe it's a St. Vinny's outlet called the Dig and Save. And so it didn't cost me much. I took a best offer of 20, and that took 1 year and 1 week to sell. So out of curiosity, I looked up today and I saw that there were a little over 500 Laurel Birch purses listed on eBay, and that is both new and pre-owned, and a little over 200 sold. So that's not an exceptional sell-through rate, but it's certainly not a terrible sell-through rate. So in all honesty, I just think that the people who were looking for these purses kept finding ones that they liked from other sellers, and I'm not going to say that I didn't mess up in my listing, that something couldn't have been better, that my pictures couldn't have been better, but basically sometimes that just happens. You have an item that's similar to other items and people just pick the other ones and yours sits, so you can't always predict how quickly things will sell, and sometimes things that you think are good, they just sit for a while. But like I said, I would still pick this up today, so if I could find it for $3 or $4, I'd do it again. Next up is an item that I wouldn't pick up today, and these are Tommy Hilfiger vintage jeans. I thought that someone might want them because of the big box logo, and there we go. They were a wide leg, which I think is maybe why nobody really wanted them. I think if they had been like a skinny leg, like a high-waisted skinny, similar to what a Levi's 501 is, that they would have done pretty well. So I definitely should have retaken the pictures on this item as well. I obviously took these pictures with my old camera where the lens had some issues. So I paid $4.99 for these, and I took a best offer of $10 whole on them. My profit on these came out to just over $2 when all things were considered with fees. I had these listed on eBay for 5 months, but I had them listed on Etsy before that, so they have been in my inventory for a little over a year. I don't do Etsy anymore. I transferred these over to eBay. So that's that. So that's what I had to show you today. I do appreciate you watching. I would love it if you left a comment, if you gave me some feedback. Go ahead and hit any of those buttons below, like or dislike or subscribe. The world is your oyster. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.